So as I've been stuck here in quarantine for the last 4 months, I've kind of been thinking a lot about my dream rides, my dream destinations, places that I'd like to visit one day, off the bike but also with the Ural. I feel like I've kind of seen a lot of what Norway has to offer, both off the bike and on it. In a way, I feel like I can say the same about Europe. I've traveled a lot around, and obviously there are places there still that I haven't seen, haven't visited. But I like traveling, and there's a lot of places that I would like to see one day. And if I had unlimited time and an unlimited budget, these are some of the places that I would like to one day visit, with the Ural in tow. So one thing that a couple of friends of mine and I have been talking about recently, without really having done a lot of planning, so I haven't really looked into travel costs or how long it would take to ship the Ural, because I would obviously still need the modifications that I've done to this one so that I would be able to drive the thing. So keep in mind that I would have to ship the Ural to all of these locations, really. That's one thing that I have to take into consideration. But like I said, given unlimited budget and unlimited time. So the first place is New Zealand. I would love to visit New Zealand one day. Known for their beautiful nature and just spectacular nature. And from what I can see, better climate than what we have here. I would love to just ride up and down the coasts and across, and yeah, see what you guys have to offer down there. Speaking of small island nations, Japan would be a great country to travel in. I've been to Tokyo a couple of times, love the culture, love the people, but I haven't really been able to see a lot of what exists outside of Tokyo. So that would be another one for the list. Basically just riding from the southern tip all the way up north. Since we're speaking of dream rides, the one thing in Europe that I would love to try one day, but I don't feel like I'm quite ready for it yet, skill-wise, is the Trans-Euro Trail. I think I might have mentioned it earlier, but it's this project where people have mapped out a way to drive from the very northern parts of Europe to the very, very south, keeping exclusively on gravel roads. I don't know how demanding the driving itself is, other than obviously being slower. So I might try to figure out if there is a route like that somewhere along here and just drive along it for a while. And I would also love to see just Africa. I don't really have a specific route in Africa in mind, because it seems to me like it's changing quite a bit. Like the places where it's safer to ride, obviously I would need quite a lot of accommodation when it comes to the wheelchair and all that to be able to do such a trip. But I would love to see it one day, because just you see nature down there and just cultures and people that you don't find anywhere else in the world. Obviously this might be a little bit inspired by The Long Way Down, the documentary series with Charlie Hunnam and Ewan McGregor, but yeah, that's been a dream for a good few years now as well. And also the, what is it called, the Trans-American Highway, like running all the way through South America, I think up to Alaska in the end there. I would love to explore all of that and just jump on and off. Iceland is a place that I've considered. Nearly happened last year. It's just easy, and I'm saying easy, relatively easy, as driving down to Denmark and jumping on a ferry for a couple of days. Then I'd be able to ride around Iceland. And from what I've gathered, that entire round trip, I mean, not counting the ferry, wouldn't take that long really. Maybe about 4 days or something. And of course, lastly, but still, I mean, first place for me is the United States of America. That's one that I've actually been planning for quite a few years. In terms of looking into transport options, I've found that there is a company in Canada, at least that I found a couple of years ago, that would be able to ship the Ural from London to Toronto, and from there I'd just somehow have to get down to the border. That's a lifelong dream of mine. What I'm thinking so far is that I would take a 3-month vacation off of work and just fly the bike over and just ride, hitting all, not hitting all of the states. I wouldn't be able to do that in 3 months' time. I don't really think that I'd be able to hit all of the states in a 3-month window, seeing as I would still love to take a long weekend or something, maybe a week even, in New York. I'd love to visit Vegas again. Obviously loads of places to see in California. I'd love to visit Atlanta. Oh, there's sheep in the road. So what I'm thinking regarding that trip, at least, I'm feeling like Route 66, which is the first thing people here think about when they think road trip in America, is Route 66. And I mean, obviously it would be fun to see some things that are along Route 66, but I don't really know if it's worth it anymore. From what I've seen recently, it kind of looks a little bit dilapidated, a little bit outdated, kind of not what it once was anyway. So I'm thinking, I mean, obviously I'd be arriving like in the northeastern parts of the country, and then I'd head south, hit Georgia, maybe as far down as Florida, but I don't really know if it's quite a long detour just to get down there. I'd love to see the Keys, obviously, and all of that. Hit up Miami and see what's going on. Then I'd head west, go through some of that southern hospitality down there, end up in Texas, hopefully. Same goes for Texas. I wouldn't be able to hit the southern parts there. I'd need a couple more months then. But I'd head over to the west coast, hit up Vegas, obviously, for a weekend, get up to LA, and then just keep going north along Highway 1 up to Washington, see Seattle. I'd love to see Seattle one day as well, and then just head east, I'm thinking, from there. See, that's the problem, is that I'd love to see so many areas in the United States, and to be able to hit all of those areas, I kind of need to do like a circle and a half to be able to hit those middle states as well. But I would love to go up to Wisconsin, Minnesota, all of those, I don't want to say Scandinavian states, but then again, there is quite a lot of Scandinavian heritage going on up there. And yeah, I kind of love the idea of flying through there with the Norwegian flag on the back of the bike and just talk to people. If you live on in any of the countries or on any of the continents that I've mentioned now in this video, let me know if there are places that I should see. So yeah, that's my dream trip. So let me know if you have any dream trips, your dream rides. Share them with me in the comments below. The same goes if you have any tips or tricks, any tips for places that I should check out given unlimited budget and time. Thanks as always for watching, and I'll catch up with you later.